In 2005, a total of 6 teams showed up, and a champion was crowned. The next year, a few more, and momentum was beginning to build.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
And the world began to see that these kids were bass savvy beyond their years.
Bring him up, bring him up. Woo!
They could fish.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
They were good.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about!
The Carhartt Bassmaster College Bass National Championship had, in the space of a few years, become a very big deal. Such a big deal that by 2011, a spot became available for a college qualifier in the World Championship of Bass Fishing, the Bassmaster Classic.
That's the kind of gets the classic, baby. That's the kind of gets the classic.
And now, in 2013, over 140 colleges and universities participate in the series.
Get him! Yeah!
The competition is bigger than ever.
Whoa!
And qualifying for it is harder than ever.
Ah! Yeah!
This is where it begins. All right, we've waited a year for it. We are ready to go. The Carhartt Bassmaster College Series for 2013. The best collegiate anglers from across the country, even an international team thrown in there this year. Going to be some great competition, as it has been since all the way back in 2005, when we started with, believe it or not, only 6 teams. Now we're up to 140 plus teams competing, over 600 boats in competition trying to make it to the 2013 National Championship. And beyond that, a berth in the Bassmaster Classic. Such incredible growth for this sport over the last few years. I'm Tommy Sanders. Welcome to the show. We're going to take you all the way to the championship and classic qualifying. Here joined for the analysis by Shay Baker. I'm going to call you ground floor guy. Shay, you were in it since 2006. You were there at the start of college bass.
Yeah, I've been around for a while with the college bass and the whole bass fishing deal. Whenever it got into the college ranks, it's an amazing deal. And started out at Auburn in 2006 and wrapped my career up in 2010. I never made the Classic, but I can't imagine doing so.
What an opportunity for these guys. How do you explain the exponential growth of this segment of tournament fishing? I mean, it's got to be the fastest growing part of the sport.
It has to be, and we're starting to see it too with high school. We just held our first high school tournament, but with the college ranks, it just proves that if you put a good quality organization, good tournament in front of these guys, and then you give them a route to the Bassmaster Classic, they're going to jump all over it.
They're good too, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they can catch them.
Good and getting better. That was certainly in evidence back in 2012. We had 28 teams who qualified for the national championship here in Central Arkansas. They fished 3 different lakes, and it was tough. I mean, it's 108 some days out there, but Oklahoma State put together a winning campaign that was quite impressive.
Yeah, I mean, just to withstand that heat, it's amazing. 10 days in 108-degree weather, I don't want to do it.
Zach Burge and Blake Fleury of Oklahoma State winning that national championship, and then we took the top 8 single competitors from that competition, put them in competition on Beaver Fork Lake, a small reservoir north of Little Rock, in 108 degrees. And wouldn't you know it, we'd come down to 2 guys battling for the 1 spot in the Bassmaster Classic. And they happen to be brothers from Auburn University.
Jordan Lee was actually my partner in college at Auburn, and his older brother, Matt Lee. 2 great guys, and you couldn't have scripted a more bittersweet scenario.
Well, plenty of drama on that day, that final competition, and it would be Matt Lee, for the 2nd time ever, a college angler gaining entrance to the Bassmaster Classic.
It's every college angler's dream to fish the Bassmaster Classic, no doubt. But, you know, preparation starts a long time before that. You know, when you're a little kid growing up, all you want to do is fish and do it, be able to do it for a living, compete against the guys at the top level of the sport. And when you finally realize that, hey, there's goals and ways that I can get there to make the Classic, I start fishing the college bass and the circuit the Bass puts on, and then realize that, you know, I'm 1 step closer to making the Bassmaster Classic. I mean, you've watched this, I mean, every year since I was a little kid, and you've been to the Classic before, and it wasn't but just 2 years ago I was trying to get these guys autographed, and now I got to go out and beat them on the lake. You know, it's definitely a reality check.
If I were to make the Classic, that would just be unreal. You know, especially after watching this previous Classic, Matt Lee, I can't tell you how jealous I was, but at the same time, you know, it's inspirational. It's showing you, you know, it really can happen. And gosh, that would be a dream, but we got a long ways to go before we get there.
Definitely always thought about it growing up. To be able to qualify for that is just amazing. Fishing for this now, to have that opportunity is something else.
Any fisherman, that's his main goal, is to one day be able to fish in the Classic and get that experience.
For me to be the next collegiate angler at the Classic just sounds foreign. I don't even know what I would do if that happened.
To be able to have a chance at the Bassmaster Classic is going to be, I'm going to try extremely hard, probably the hardest I've ever tried in a tournament to make this happen.
What an incredible story. Matt Lee, only the second collegiate angler ever to make it to the Bassmaster Classic. He will never forget that experience, I would imagine, Shay.
No, what's crazy is he actually got another shot this year. I mean, he and his brother Jordan Lee, they're both back in it, and we're going to see what they do this year.
All right, this year is going to be something else. More regional qualifiers than ever before, also the addition of a wild card qualifier. We have got a lot to show you in the next hour. We're going to run down all the qualifiers, how they got to the national championship, so let's get it started. Road starts at the regionals. There are 5 of them this year, plus a wild card. If you fail at the regionals, you have to be in the top 10% of the field. Great lakes like Lake Norman and Charlotte, North Carolina. The Southern, Tavares, Florida, Central Florida, and the Harris Chain of Lakes. If you've watched the Bassmasters through the years, you've seen a lot of drama from that place. Originally, the Mississippi River in Fort Madison, Iowa. High waters forced it to Lake Sugema. The Western, a Big Bass legendary factory in Clear Lake in Northern California. It doesn't get much better than that. And ditto for this next venue. For the Central region, Lake Amistad, Del Rio, Texas. Big Bass abound. The wild card, sometimes it's called the smallmouth capital of the world. It is great fishing all up and down Florence, Alabama's Pickwick Lake. Let's start it out. Out west, let's take a look at that Western Regional Qualifier in Clear Lake, California. Shea Baker, I mean, that's where all the swim bait frenzy got going. So many records have come from this place.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we're going to see some records broken here this year. I mean, you got giant fish, and they abound out there, so it's a great opportunity to fish that lake.
So for that reason and so many others, expectations are definitely sky high for these college hopefuls who are coming to Clear Lake in this regional qualifier trying to make it to the national championship. And let's show you the results. The top 5 teams headed up by Oregon State University, knocking out the win there. Zach McDonald and Ryan Sparks doing a great job. Day 1, they even broke the single-day record, but it didn't last long, Shay.
Yeah, about 5 minutes. Chico State came up and shattered that. If you look there, you see 54 pounds, 53 pounds, 50 pounds. That's a 2-day tournament. That's century marks.
Stratospheric. The 4 days they'd be wearing the century belts. So much excitement already and plenty more to come. We're going to the Central region when we come back, and another Big Bass Lake, legendary lake, that clear water, productive water of Lake Amistad on the border between the U.S. and Mexico. Which college teams would master it?
The Carhartt Bassmaster College Series is brought to you by Live Target, Livingston Lures, and by Carhartt.
Regional qualifiers for the 2013 Carhartt Bassmaster College Series. We are looking at all of them. There are 5 of them, plus a wild card. You got to finish in the top 10% of the field if you want to make it to the all-important national championship. We've already seen our Western qualifier from Clear Lake, California, legendary bass fishing there. Ditto for our Central qualifier. Look at this venue on the border between the U.S. and Mexico. Lake Amistad, formed by the Rio Grande, the Pecos, and the Devil's River. What great sights we have seen here through the years on the Bassmaster Elite Series. First ever Elite Series event was held right here. That was won by Ish Monroe, and we have seen the greats of the sport come here and just knock it out of the park. Mike Iaconelli, some great champions through the years as well, but now it's college this time around. Let's take a look at action from day 1.
Yeah, you see Texas A&M Kingsville here. Cody and Colton in 3rd place, 17-4. They kind of rounded out the top 3 after a tough day 1. Tarleton State there, 2nd on day 1 with 17-8.
Who would be the leaders after day 1 competition? Well, it would be coming over from the state of New Mexico, the Aggies from New Mexico State University, Memo Nunez. Tanner Cooper mastering Amistad, 19.5 pounds to take over the lead, but it is a 2-day tournament. And Shea Baker, as we pick it up on day number 2, tell us something about the conditions. Not exactly optimal for Amistad.
No, we saw, Harris Chain, all the records broken. We really thought this is going to be another one of those situations. I mean, this is the best schedule in fishing in general this year. This is the best schedule there is. And we see the guys come out here, and they were all talking about catching giants and catching lots of them. And then we had a cold front sneak in. That kind of changed things. A lot of these guys had to slow down.
Yeah, let's take a look at Tarleton State right here. This university from the state of Texas, Fort Worth, and other cities as well. Colt Ferris, Hunter Randolph had that good day. Second place after one day of fishing and just really having to work real hard for everything they got on this day.
Yeah, you see them there doing the traditional stuff, and then they're actually throwing an A-rig a lot too, and that was kind of the deal that would fill in their limits.
I've never done anything like this before, and being a freshman this year in college, this is one of my dreams actually, is to be in a big championship like this, and it's an exciting experience.
My plans in the future are to try to become a pro angler, and this would be a good way to start, make it to the Classic. I mean, that's the pinnacle of bass fishing right there.
Colt Ferris, Hunter Randolph of Tarleton State University trying hard here on day number 2 to try to overcome that deficit to New Mexico State that they're fighting against. And as you say, we're using the Alabama rig or umbrella rig, Shay, and good for numbers, that's for sure.
Yeah, we saw a lot of fish caught out there on Amistad on the umbrella rig. Just didn't see a lot of big fish. The big fish, they want that big single swim bait just like traditionally.
Well, not a bountiful Lake Amistad, being a little stingy, especially on this day number 2. The weather conditions definitely tough on these college anglers. Got to be resourceful, got to figure it out, and the team that's done the best job of that so far, there they are. The Aggies, Tanner Cooper and Memo Nunez. Memo, a sophomore business major. Tanner, a junior mechanical engineering major. Again, had a good day 1, 19 pounds plus.
Really, the key was finding them in practice. During practice, we just absolutely destroyed them. It was something like I've never got onto before. I learned a lot from Mike Iaconelli. He posted something online, and I just happened to read it about, finding areas between a spawning flat and some real deep ledges so that, you can catch them as they move up. And it was just one of those things that worked just like it's supposed to, and that's how we caught them all.
Well, a great game plan, and of course this team, this New Mexico State team, Shay, was very excited by their practice. They had a fantastic practice. I think they had 3 fish that weighed close to 25 pounds, and it was just a magnificent thing. But the conditions, again, really set all the teams back. So same for everyone, but they all had to figure out a way to deal with colder weather.
Yeah, you hear Tanner there talking about their game plan and their strategy. They try to find a staging area. These fish were trying to spawn. Some of them had spawn, some of them were moving up to spawn. This weather really threw a funk in the whole deal. So they were having to get on those staging spots. And I was actually out on the water covering these guys when they were catching these fish. And they're doing just like they're talking about, the traditional stuff, big worms, big jigs, and just out there dragging them around, trying to catch those fish, moving back and forth and staging them those little breaks.
It's Tanner Cooper in the foreground. He's got the most experience, the most tournament experience on the team, and reeling that fish in is Memo Nunez. And Memo, note this is really his first big tournament ever. He's fished a couple of little nighttime local events, but this is his first time ever in the middle of a big-time competition, and man, did he pull it off. A lot of poise there for that young man.
Yeah, that's what you want to see right there, catching a nice fish. And when you first bigger tournaments, and this kid's going to have these memories for life.
All of these guys, if you'll talk to them long enough, they'll profess a deep desire somewhere back in the back of their mind that somewhere this is going to lead to a professional bass fishing career, and there's nothing wrong with that aspiration.
No, I mean, that's what every fisherman desires, to go to the Classic, desires to be a pro. I mean, there's very few fishermen nowadays that just sit around and say, I just want to fish a little local tournament.
Let's look at some of the highlights from day 2. The big fish, Carhartt Big Bass, 11 pounds, 11 ounces, Jesse Scarafiati from New Mexico State University. The other teams, how would they fare? Kingsville, Texas A&M, Garrett, and Cavazos. In total 2 days, 28 pounds and 11 ounces for 5th place. 4th place, Dallas Baptist showing up again in the central qualifier. Newman and Berger in there. New Mexico State, there's the Aggies again. New Mexico State, DiCamillo and Wilkinson. Good total for 3rd place there, Tarleton State. These guys hung in there fiercely, couldn't overtake our winning team, but a good total for 2 days. And here they are, our winners, Cooper and Nunez, New Mexico State.
All right, both teams step up. We're looking for 11 pounds, 9 ounces to take home the trophy. 11 pounds, 9 ounces. 14 pounds, 4 ounces. And with that, I will crown New Mexico State University your Carhartt Bassmaster College Series Central Conference Regional Champions.
Yeah, to make it to the championship, it feels awesome. It's a great opportunity. I haven't been fishing too long, and just got a hold of myself of a partner that taught me a lot, and we're getting along real good.
keeps putting us onto fish, and luckily we're both producing and becoming a good team that's putting us in first, so it's exciting to go up there, see how that goes.
Congratulations, Nunez and Cooper. What a great effort there, putting up a first-place trophy in that new, or at least fairly recent, New Mexico State team. Cooper and Nunez finishing first place. Tarleton State sneaking in second place there. Again, the Aggies in third place. What a great day, a great week for the Aggies. Dallas Baptist and Texas A&M Kingsville. Coming up, legendary Harris Chain of Lakes there in Central Florida. You never know what you're going to get when you go down there. What will our college teams find in our Southern qualifier? Carhartt Bassmaster College Series 2013. Big-time regional qualifiers, 5 of them. You got to finish in the top 10%. You want to make it to the national championships. We've seen the highlights from the West and the Central Division so far. The most populated of all of these divisional qualifiers is going to be the Southern, going down to the Harris Chain, legendary chain of natural lakes in Central Florida. 11 lakes in the Harris Chain. Big Harris, Little Harris, Griffin, Eustis, among the larger ones there. Let's get out to Auburn University, Montgomery. They play big every year, Shay.
Yeah, Tom Freak and Jacob Nummy here. These guys were fishing in a little canal trying to find protected fish. Same situation. They had a lot of weather, a lot of variables. So let's see what they can do in this little canal here.
And here I almost feel like we need to be cutting back and forth, you know, because that other bank looks so good too. I just wanted to make it look like we're fishing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Defensive fishing. Defense wins championships, as Jacob Nummy would say.
Football analogy from a dude that don't watch it. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Hey.
You gutted it, dude. I gotta cut that hook.
Fine.
Can you get it?
I don't even play with it. Finally.
That's what we're talking about right there.
Nice.
Solid fish. He might make the bag.
Well, Jacob Nummy thinks that one just might make the bag. He obviously pretty confident about what may come today, and let's take a look at what happens just a couple of hours later. All that commotion for good reason. An absolute oversized largemouth from the Harris Chain and the team from UAM. Jacob Nummy, Tom Frink, absolutely scoring big time. Take a look at that one. Oh my word. What it would do would be to vault them into 6th place, a total for the day of 19 pounds and 6 ounces. The team from UAM. 3rd place.
Can I get a booyah?
Yeah, there you go. Chris Seals and last year's classic qualifier from college, Matt Lee. Auburn in the hunt. How about Daytona State? Very good job by Thomas Oltoric and Scott Heberlin. 21 pounds, 7 ounces for 2nd place. And our leaders after day number 1, they're players every year, it seems. Bethel University, Zach Parker and Matthew Roberts.
Well, our first 3 days were just, it was horrible. And then I guess our 4th day, we figured out the little pattern.
Just kind of back off the bank.
Yeah, we had to back off the bank. If it had a pocket and you could kind of pull out of that pocket and find the next drop off of that pocket, either one side of where the pocket started or where the pocket ended, there was going to be some. And that little spot, man, we caught a 5-pounder there in practice. Didn't really fish it much else, and they were loaded there today. Hopefully they'll be there tomorrow. Net, big one. I don't know, it's a big, yeah, it's a bigger one. Off Phil's head. Oh gosh. Stay down.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's a good one. Stay down. Right here. Right here.
Oh, she's going on the boat. She's
Right
going on
here.
the
I
boat.
got you. She's coming up. Coming up.
Yeah.
Woo!
Talking some big one.
Yes, sir. Just right where we caught that big one yesterday. They're here. Switch to the chrome.
What a story. Parker and Roberts, Bethel University, a dismal practice, trying to find something different, and they back off from shore a little bit and do just that. Big start of the day for them. How about Thomas Oltoric and Scott Haberlin of Daytona State College?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, dude, your line's right there, man.
See Daytona State there on the same kind of pattern as Bethel. Lipless crankbaits out there fishing and firing into the hydrilla and eelgrass. You have two basic things going on. You got the lipless crankbaits and you got the sight fishing stuff going on in the canals. See here, Bethel, let's jump back over here. They're trying to close the deal.
Man, I think those guys that caught 20, 21 will probably go out there and catch it again. So, I mean, I think we at least need 15 to 20 to be on the safe side.
Good one. Good one, I think. No.
Oh my gosh.
God. Oh my
Oh,
God.
baby.
Stay on,
baby.
stay on.
Come on, baby.
Stay on. Here she comes.
Yeah! Woo!
That's what I'm talking about.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, the pliers.
Go ahead. Woo! Thank you, dear Lord. The man moved out here a little more.
Yeah, they might have.
We're kind of setting off in that deeper water, throwing up there on that flat. I'd say there's like a 50-yard flat, and then there's some pads, and we're kind of staying off of that little flat. And I mean, we think they're staging, but
It could be spawning up there.
It could be spawning up there.
We're not from here. We just kind of came upon it in practice, so.
there she is. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. That's her. Oh my God. Come on, baby. That's her. That's her. Dude, it's her. It is her. Stay on. Stay down. Stay down. Don't you jump. Don't you do it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm going to her.
Don't jump.
Right here. Right, coming up. Coming up. Yes. Oh, thank you, dear Lord. Yeah. Dang, I thought she was a big one though. You see the wake out there? I thought she was another just giant. That was it. On the spot. On the spot.
Get rid of one.
Zach Parker, the junior from Jackson, Tennessee. Matt Roberts from Pulaski, Iowa, also a junior, having a fantastic day here. Are they running away from the field? We'll go and make it official here right now.
Looking for 15-9. 15-9. This will crown a champion. 25 pounds, 1 ounce. And that will crown Bethel University, your Carhartt Bassmaster College Series South Super Regional champions.
Hey, let's make a statement. Bethel University winning by almost 10 pounds, 54 pounds, 3 ounces ahead of Daytona State and another Bethel University team. This is a team, Parker and Roberts, who worked very, very hard for this one.
It was daylight to dark every single day. We'd go get to the hotel room, go to sleep, wake up at 5:30, and that's how it's been for the last 7 days. We found a little pattern in practice and just ran it all over the lake on Harris, and that spot was actually the spot where we caught a 5-pounder in practice, and luckily there was a bunch of more big ones.
Parker and Roberts, your champions from famous Bethel University, famous for bass fishing. Coming up next, we're going to a lake that is so famous for bass fishing, Lake Norman. Charlotte, North Carolina, legendary, a great tournament location for our Eastern Regional Qualifier. Welcome back. You're watching the Carhartt Bassmaster College Series for 2013. Tommy Sanders, Shea Baker with you here. We are halfway through this regional qualifying process, which is bigger than ever this year, and it's very, very stringent. I mean, you got to be in the top 10% if you're going to go to the championship.
Yeah, I really like what we've done this year with the qualification. I mean, you really have to catch them, not just one tournament, not just to the championships. You have to catch them all year. So it's a really good way to weed out the guys and see who deserves to go to the Classic.
Absolutely. Well, we got 3 down and 3 to go. Included in that 3 is a last chance to a wild card tournament. So let's get the process started. Look at part 2 of the regional qualifier. We have seen some barn burners. Oregon State University coming into Clear Lake, California, legendary Clear Lake. Zach McDonald and Ryan Sparks knocking out a big win. They are going to the national championship and taking the trophy as well. Our Central Regional, another great body of water. Lake Amistad down there on the border with Mexico, and a great job by New Mexico State. Memo Nunez and Tanner Cooper go into the championship hoisting the trophy. Biggest field of all showed up so far at our Southern Regional legendary Harris chain of lakes there in Central Florida. Bethel University, so strong, year in and year out. Zach Parker and Matthew Roberts blowing away the field with an almost 10-pound victory. Now we're moving up the East Coast. We're going all the way to North Carolina, the Charlotte area, and Lake Norman. What a great, great tournament venue this is. A good test of fishing skills just about any season of the year. Going out there to see the team from UNC Charlotte, Shane LaHue and Eric Self, one of the pre-tournament favorites this time around. Let's see if they can live up to the expectations as they fish what for them is their home water.
Practicing, we started looking for bedfish. We marked as many as we possibly could over 2 or 3 days and just ran every waypoint we could. And we actually ended up keying on a few key areas up around 150 Bridge. And we just pretty much stayed in that area the entire tournament.
See?
Oh, yeah, there's one.
Oh, there's one.
That's a helper.
Just keep going. I'm just gonna float on by. Did he turn back around?
No. Yeah, he's just sitting there.
Do that one.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Throw it in front of him. Throw it in front of him.
He's gonna do it. He's not gonna do it.
Yeah, yes. Oh, he thought about it. He's just nosed on it. You're gonna have to get it in the
I'm a dying bait fish. Oh, he's getting it this time. He's going straight for it. I thought it was catchable.
It is.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my God, he's wanting to get up there with him.
If you're throwing that, I'm gonna pick up the white thing.
Right here. Take my time. In the mouth. That's a good one.
Yeah. That's number 5, isn't it?
Yep.
Now if that big one will pull up there.
Self and LaHue spent their whole practice time in separate boats just marking spawners, and that one pays off right there.
Yeah, we saw NC State on day one. They were kind of just fan casting around in areas that they knew bedding fish were with flukes and drop shots. They weren't really sight fishing as much.
Wait, there he is. There's one. See him?
Oh, yep. Oh, there they are. There they are. They've been here the whole time. They've just been in the shade. Okay. Both of them are there. There's a pair. Yeah, there's one about 3, and then there's another one probably 15 inches.
If that.
If that, yeah. Here we go.
Oh, you got it. You got it. You got it. All right, don't. Just... Heck yeah, baby.
Skinny fish. Skinny.
That's it. I mean,
that's yeah.
That's what you want. Obviously, you have the mojo right now.
Something. You know what? I threw it out 4 foot in front of him.
Yeah, you
and just set it there.
NC State, the Wolf Pack, trying very, very hard to make a push into that top 10, but for Tyler Faggart, Tyler Mayhew, only 18th after the first day of competition, 9 pounds and 11 ounces. EKU, Kyle Raymer and John Smith, a good day on day number 1, 3rd place, 15 pounds and 4 ounces. UNC Charlotte, our pre-tournament favorites for sure. Eric Self, Shane LaHue, very solid in 2nd place. And how about Shane LaHue, your Carhartt Big Bass of the day, 5 pounds and 5 ounces. But the guys on top from Georgetown University, Vincent Temperio, John Hunter, great day 1, 17 pounds and 1 ounce. One more day of fishing yet to go, and the conditions on day number 2 pretty much the same, right, Shay?
Yeah, the water had kind of stabilized. We saw a lot of rain before the tournament, and you had that water real high and muddy. It made it real hard to see these fish. You'll see UNC Charlotte here jumping back out, and they actually are on the same fish that they hung and lost on day 1. And I talked to Shane after day 1. He said this one's bigger than the one he caught.
You see her?
She's swimming out here.
You got some good eyes.
You see her?
Yeah, I put them down and put the power poles
I'm backing up even further. If I hook this thing, I'm gonna freak out.
Is that not her? Dude. Yeah, she got it. She's got it.
Get him! Yes! Yeah! Oh, I had to work for that one. He's in the mouth, isn't he? Yeah. There's our 6-pounder.
They actually had their hands on this fish on day one, Tommy. They foul hooked it outside the mouth since it was a sight fish, had to be released. Went back, the fish set back up, and after 3 hours on this fish throughout the day, finally put her back in the boat.
Self and LeHue from UNC Charlotte practiced so hard separately, trying to spot all these big spawners that they could see on the lake, mostly north of the highway bridge there, and it seems to have paid off for them. But tight competition after day number 1. Tale will be told at the weigh-in on day number 2. Let's take a look at the results, and there they are. UNC Charlotte, Eric Self, Shane LeHue with 35 pounds, 4 ounces total weight for 2 days of fishing. And how about Shane LeHue? Carhartt Big Bass for the 2nd day in a row. That was that good one you saw right there. 5 pounds and 11 ounces. And here are the guys, your champions from UNC Charlotte, with some thoughts about the pivotal fish of this tournament.
I foul hooked a fish yesterday that was up on the bed. It was our big fish today. It actually ended up locking on. We went back to it probably 4 or 5 times throughout the day. Probably spent 2 hours on the fish, and it finally came back and ended up locking on and finally got it to bite.
Winning this tournament feels great. We've been fishing these things for the past few years, and we've had some good finishes. Last year we had a 10th place and a 2nd, and the year before I think we had like a 3rd and a 5th, and it feels good just to finally win one.
They were the favorites coming in, UNC Charlotte, and after 2nd place on day 1, they put the pedal to the metal and won by 9 pounds over East Carolina. Virginia Tech, Georgetown are day 1 leaders in 4th, and Murray State in 5th place. So 11 teams qualifying for the championship also. From that Eastern Regional, the Midwest Regional is coming up next. Carhartt Bassmaster College Series. This is our regional qualifier show. 5 big regional qualifiers to get to the season-ending championship, plus a wild card event. We've seen some great performances so far from Amistad, from Clear Lake, from the Harris Chain, from Lake Norman in the Eastern Regional. Some good stuff so far. Now we're going to our Midwest qualifier, originally scheduled for the Mississippi River, but high waters have forced the field 30 miles to the west to Lake Sugema in the state of Iowa. A place with a lot of fish, very small, but a very quirky rule that could cause trouble for these guys.
Yeah, Tommy, that slot, that 12 to 18-inch slot, DNR in Iowa says that has to go back in the lake, can't be kept. So Hank Wellner, tournament director, allowed anglers to keep anything from 10 to 12 inches. Once you get to that 18-inch mark, you can keep anything above it again. So you have this over-under dynamic. Let's hop over here to Illinois to Stoner and Starrett and see if they can figure something out.
We got here Saturday morning and to the river to Pool 19, and we've been fishing out of Fort Madison every day, and the river has just been getting higher and higher and more dangerous, and it's unbelievably muddy. There's a bunch of debris in the river, and it was getting more and more dangerous, and in my eyes, I believe Bass made the right call, and they had to get us off the river because it just keeps coming up. I think it was supposed to come up 3.5 feet in over these last 2 days, and there's one. Little guy.
Little guy?
Yeah. Not big enough. Be under 12. Be under 12.
I don't think we got a prayer at that.
Nah, he ain't under 12, but he's full. Yeah. You never thought you'd hear somebody say be under 12, did you?
Got to be under 12, be over 18 if you want to use them at the weigh-in. Same problem for this team, University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point.
No, that's not going to do it.
Oh, would have been legal in Wisconsin. That's the way she goes. Probably weighs as much as a whole bag right there.
McCabe and Carlock of Nebraska. Shea had a great practice on the river, but that's gone. They've been moved, and they're struggling as well.
Yeah, all that went out the window whenever we had to make the move, and see these guys having to deal with the same thing. Everybody's having to fight that slot.
I'd say everybody's having. There's a fish.
Got one?
Yep.
Get him?
He ain't gonna make the slot limit.
Man, I'd love you any other day, fish. But I know you ain't gonna make.
tell his bigger friends or his smaller friends.
Tell your big guys to come out and eat my spinnerbait. Let's see what he is anyway.
Get a frame of reference.
It's a 15-inch fish on the nose.
Yeah, that could be good on the river. Not so much here.
Well, that's what we get to throw back.
Cornhuskers from Nebraska and all the rest of these teams trying to deal with that very difficult 12 to 18-inch slot limit. Let's take it to the weigh-in and see who dealt with it the best. How about the University of Wisconsin? Warner and Kearney. Great day, 8 pounds and a half. Western Illinois, Travis Wilson, Brian Lafferty, 10 pounds, 12 ounces, a solid second place. And on a tough day, it would be the team from Kansas State University, Ben Zook, Ethan Duvetter, first with a great weight of 11 pounds and 15 ounces. Let's go out to the water with the Kansas State team right now.
Yeah, at the ramp, it looked like it's came up another couple inches overnight. We could tell during the day yesterday it came up too. There was more of this back cover in here getting into the water yesterday. Good thing is water this color, you don't got to worry about them being any deeper than a couple feet. It was a good fish, but I don't think it was 18 anyway, so.
It'd have been about 16 and a half.
Nothing that would help.
Tournament.
Yeah, man. Took all the ones you can keep out.
Kansas State had the great spot yesterday, produced some great results, but just not doing it, not reloading for the second day of competition. The hot team today, Milwaukee School of Engineering, Sandretto and Logish.
Yeah, our trolling motor's almost dead, and we have 4 hours left in this damn thing.
So we need to go across the lake. Well, we came here to Iowa planning on fishing the Mississippi River, and then we got changed up to Lake Sugema, and that was a challenge because our pre-fishing days were limited. Then having a small boat, our trolling motor was dying out and we're catching all our fish in the wind. So it was a challenge to find the banks that we could stay on, that we're holding the fish we were catching. Storm's coming in.
Oh, there's one.
You are.
Flipping it in.
Right in that slot, right? You want me to get in a trolling motor?
Well, yeah, that would have been nice. Ow, right in the hand, too.
14,
yeah.
Right?
It's too big. Yeah. You can tell how many fish we've caught that we just throw them back now.
The Milwaukee School of Engineering losing their trolling motor, but the only place they're catching them is on the windy banks, pushing through it on this second and final day of the Midwest Regional to take the win. What a job by this team from Milwaukee. Only the third year for a club and this team, and they take the win, 17 pounds, 11 ounces. Western Illinois in second place. Two teams from Wisconsin, Stevens Point, populating third and fourth place, and Kansas State University, your day one leaders, winding up in fifth place. Congrats to the Milwaukee School of Engineering.
Fishing the Classic would be a dream of mine. Like any angler out there would want to fish the Classic, and this helps me just get that little inch closer. It'd be amazing if that happened. All I do is go to nationals and go from there.
Well, with the Midwest, our 5 regional qualifiers are complete, but the field not yet complete for the year-ending championship. One more shot. If you didn't make it in a regional, you got a chance, a second chance at the wild card from Pickwick Lake. That's coming up next.
The Carhartt Bassmaster College Series is brought to you by Quantum, Livingston Lures, and by Carhartt.
Carhartt Bassmaster College Series for 2013, and we have seen the results of 5 regional qualifiers. That field championship at season's end is almost full. One more left, the wild card event, a last chance if you didn't make it through a regional. From Pickwick Lake, 53 miles of great fishing habitat on the Tennessee River, and one team that would love to do well here, the team from Young Harris College, because The championship venue is their home water.
Chattooga is where I've put in all my time work, and I don't put in time over here like other people do, so I get to go home and show them what's up, hopefully, if we get there. How good is he? Not good. Oh, he might not even keep.
You hear them talking about their home water there, Tommy, and one of the big things they do back home is throw a big swim bait. Big swim bait's a huge player on Pickwick this time of year. When those fish are out there on those ledges and you're looking for one big bite, you put a 6 or 7 inch single swim bait on there and throw it out there, get ready.
Net.
Oh, that's, told you, if you catch one, it'll fire it up. Good one?
Yeah. Big one. 2 toed.
Where is he?
Don't let this one come on.
Oh God, Brad. Oh my God. That is a giant. Where is he? Where is he?
Whoa! Oh, it came off in the net. Oh,
It came off in the net. Oh my God. Tell me that won't send chills up your spine.
Yeah, baby! Yeah! Let's win this thing. Let's go to Chattooga.
Tell me about it.
Woohoo!
Give me some.
Yes, son.
Give me some. Tell you what, you catch baby on a jig, you fire up mama. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Woo-hoo. Hey, let me tell you what, I'll net fish all day long if they're that big.
That fish, 6 pounds, 3 ounces. Brad Rutherford owns the Carhartt Big Bass for day 1. And fish like that can make a big difference. Young Harris University got to be feeling good at 22 pounds plus. Tied with the team from North Alabama, Andrew Nutt and Zachary Wiggers, also 22 and a half. So a big battle on day 2 coming.
Here's one. I don't know. I don't think so. No.
They know this Tennessee River fishing. These teams are pretty much locals. Northern Alabama and Pickwick is their home lake. This team from Andrew Nutt, Zachary Wiggers, 22 pounds and 8 ounces on day 1, just trying to hang with that ledge and find those bigger schools of fish. That's going to make the difference at the end of the day on day number 2. Again, this team was tied after day 1 with the team from Young Harris College. Brad Rutherford, Matthew Peeler having a little bit better day on day number 2 in terms of results. Of course, it was Brad Rutherford with the big fish of the tournament yesterday. Now it's Matthew Peeler's chance to get on the board.
He a big one.
No, about the same size.
Watch out. Oh, shoot.
Oh, God. Stay on.
Woo! Let's go.
It's going to be tough today. It's going to be real tough today. You're going to have to put your nose to the grindstone and fish everything, fish clean.
Got him?
Yep.
Decent one?
Feels it. Yeah.
Stay on, baby. Stay on. Yep.
Yep. That's what we need. Number 5. That's what I'm talking about.
Young Harris College, Northern Georgia, looking good to qualify for the championship. That means everything to them. The championship is on their home lake. Going to wind up in 4th place, Brad Rutherford and Matthew Peeler. A good effort. Tied with them after day number 1, University of North Alabama, Nutt and Wiggers, knocking down 2nd place with 40 pounds plus. How about the team from Bethel University? Big comeback on day number 2, 40 pounds, 14 ounces. Jacob Hardy and Jake Lawrence. Bethel University, strong win there. Not a big margin, but good enough to take the championship on Pickwick, this team from a school that is so strong in college bass fishing.
We knew how Pickwick fishes. You know, it fishes really small for how big it is. And after the first day, we found the majority of our schools on the first day. So The rest of the time of practice, we just spent trying to look for, you know, some out-of-the-way places, and that was definitely a good decision on our part.
And with that, our final qualifier, our wild card qualifier in Pickwick Lake is done, and now we have a full field ready to go for the national championship. And Shea Baker, as you look at this, and bigger and better than ever, as we promised at the top of the show, it's just been incredible watching all these efforts across the country. Who stands out to you? What teams, what individuals look to do very well when we make it to Chautauqua Reservoir?
Call me partial, but I have to go with my guys from Auburn University. Jordan Lee and Matt Lee. Jordan missed out on the opportunity to go to the Classic last year. I don't see him missing it this year. And another team to really look out for to making that next step is AUM with Jacob Nummy and Tom Frank. Frank, whenever the Elite Series still had co-anglers, he won. He's the winningest co-angler ever, and he went back to college. The guy catches them every time, and this sets up perfect for him. His home water's out here, Altoona, which is a lot like this lake, and Lanier he's really familiar with. So that drop shot deal, I mean, he's going to be hard to handle.
You are nothing if not loyal, Shea Baker.
War Eagle.
War Eagle, looking out for his Auburn guys right there. So we are ready to go with our teams, our 68 teams, 49 schools represented at this National Championship 2013. Let's talk a little bit about our venue. Chautauqua Reservoir, Highlands Reservoir, up in the mountains of North Georgia. Clearwater going to look a lot different to some of these guys than the places they've competed so far.
Yeah, blueback herring. I mean, there's a lot of variables here. You got huge largemouth, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounders even. These guys catch earlier in the year, and whenever they're spawning and feeding up, you can catch 30, 35 pounds out there in those local tournaments. So it's going to be interesting to see if any of those big fish come into play. But there's also a lot of big spots. You have spots upwards of 5 pounds. So you're going to have to mix it up, I believe, in this one.
Dead of summer, reservoirs like that, you look to top water in the morning, you look to deeper fishing down toward the dam in the evening. You see anything else? Any surprise tactic popping up for us here?
Well, you got to watch out for Young Harris, Brad Rutherford. He's native to that lake. I mean, that's where he
their
grew
home
up.
water. Yeah.
And he throws big swim baits,
Okay.
10, 12-inch swim baits, and that kid catches huge fish. So he may be one of those sleepers that come in on day one with 7 pounds and come in on day 2 with 25.
They are better than ever, and they have worked hard to get to this 2013 championship. We will take you to Chautauqua Reservoir when we see you next time on the Carhartt Bassmaster College Series.
Good one. Good one, I think.
Yeah! Woo! She's got it.
Get him! Yes! Yeah!
Net.
Oh, that's, told you, if you catch one, it'll fire it up.
Whoa! Oh, it came off in the net. Oh, all right,
Came off in the net. Oh my God.